Hey there everyone, welcome to another YouTube video here on the channel. My name, as always, is Emily Jane. Today we are here on the on-track simulations Cumbrian coast route. So today we are going to be driving this train here, class 144 number 009. On a service, okay, we need to come to a stand. I've got a red. Oh no, it's cleared. There we go. So on a service from Leeds, to Morecambe. We'll be taking the train between just before Carnforth, which is just after the curve here, as far as Morecambe. Total distance today is about 10.5 miles, but it'll take us about half an hour to do because we've got some turnbacks and other fabulous manoeuvres. There you go. There's a 10. We'll knock that in there. I may actually... Nah. Just keep us below 10 miles an hour. Remember, 10 miles an hour is the speed limit, not the speed target. So yes, this today we'll be calling at Carnforth, Morecambe, Bear Lane, and of course Morecambe. No, sorry, Carnforth, Lancaster, Bear Lane, Morecambe. My apologies there. So we're just going to ease it down the slope here. So this line that we're coming off is the line that basically heads across the country eastbound. So it goes towards sort of Settle Junction and then goes into Leeds that way. It's not that interestingly, I think it's got the longest signal section anywhere in the UK, which is something like 10 miles, I'm going to say. Don't quote me on that. But it's obviously a pretty big signalling section, so if you're held there, you're going to be there for a while, folks. Apart from that, yeah, it's, you know, this is a nice little service. Class 144 is a nice little multiple unit. Very similar to the Class 143 in design. In fact, you know, this is a Class 143 model, I know that much. The texturing of the model is done by Major Wales. The scenario is one that comes with the route with some minor tweaks done to it. Alrighty, you can see you've got some some coaches stayed up there. That on the right hand side there, that's Carnforth Steamtown. It's one of two bases for WCR, West Coast Railways. I'm just grabbing a sip of my drink. It's a really cool landmark. And here comes Voyager. Sorry, I literally just twigged that thing was there. So we're just going to come to a stand just next to the PIS screen here. That's the entrance to the platform there, so there's no point in going right down to the end, really. And I'm just going to put step 1 a brake in. Bring us to a nice, comfortable stand. We don't depart until 12, so we've got a little while. So, interesting thing to note about the Pacers. Most units have a sort of two doors. So you have one door at the front, one door at the middle, and then the same again. The Pacer has a 1-3. So on this side, this vehicle doesn't have a lavatory in it. Or does it? No, it doesn't. So it just has some extra seats here. This is a DMS, driving motor standard. This here, this is the bathroom on this train. And you can see that's in the place that a door would be on this side. So as a result, for reasons best known at British Leyland, they had 3 doors aside. And that's, you know, you can see, yeah, same on this side. So, yeah, I'm just going to really quickly... So the Class 144s were built at Derby between 1986 and 87. Yeah, so total 23 were constructed, and all have now been retired, sadly. A lot of them have been preserved, because these were probably the nicest of the Pacers, in a way. So, yes, points to note. So services they've ran, the Harrogate Loop, the Huddersfield Line, the Hallam Line, Penistone Line, Pendolino. I will set my DRA, but plot twist, it doesn't actually work. Yes, so Penistone line, Pontefract line, York and Selby lines, Calder Vale, Airedale. So but they did come all the way over here. They were normally based at Neville Hill Depot in Leeds, and they've operated for Arriva Rail Northern, Arriva Trains Northern, British Rail, Northern Trains, Network Rail, and Regional Rail. This is the livery they retired in. They never actually, much like the rest of the Pacer fleet, they never got a upgrade to the, to the Arriva Rail Northern. They sort of stayed in Serco Bellio Northern, which is this livery here. Reminds me of a box of chocolates. You just know what flavour you're going to get with these. It's bouncy. Interesting point to note, one of the things Major Wales has done is increase the bounce factor of these. If you look very closely, the unit is actually wiggling. Even when stationary. But you've got to be, it's not too major. But I have seen these things nod quite substantially. Well, 142s. So hence they also had the nickname of Nodding Donkeys. You can see it's off a nearer way. You got first Transpennine Express. This is probably 2012 era-ish. Wait for the doors to go. Okay, DRA comes off because we've got the green. And we'll take the road. So our start speed is 10 miles an hour, but clearing a 15 we can accelerate. So we'll go 10. And then coast. So this is by far the slowest part of the route today. However, you can see the 15 posts just ahead of us there. Now, interestingly, Carnforth is right next to the West Coast Main Line. That's the West Coast Main Line to the right-hand side there. But actually, trains from the West Coast Main Line cannot serve Carnforth Station, as there are no platforms on the West Coast Main Line. In these ones, you can't actually then rejoin the West Coast unless you go via the Cumbrian coast. And it just seems one of those great missed opportunities to have trains at Carnforth for the main line. Instead, people have got to sort of travel down the line as far as Lancaster and then can continue. So put the power on and keep rolling. Got some Mark 1s, some transit vans, and then you've got the old Mark 1 res stock, which is laid up here at Carnforth. Probably a spare part stoner system going on at there, but yeah, pretty cool really. I've been planning to do this run for a little while, but I sort of realised that this was the much better route to do it on, because West Coast Main Line over Shab has exactly the same track. However, the scenery is not as nice because it's an older route. And I've got to say, the on-track sims guys have done a great job with this. I always really enjoy this route, and the pace is always one of those things. It's always fun to get out and about in. So yeah. So we are now going to 75, but this is sort of a slight uphill segment here, as far as I'm aware. As such, it's sort of power on and accelerate up the hill. So, yeah. But no, I really enjoy this route. It's just so different to, what I've been driving recently, because the two most recent videos I've recorded were Riviera Line and West Cornwall Local. Now, as much as you would have seen Pacers down in West Cornwall at one point in their careers, I think. Actually, yeah, at one point they were down there, but then they got moved because they were really bad because of the flanging issues. And then there was a big reshuffle to send different units down there. But, apart from that, it's just a very different feel to the whole environment here. And I much prefer the drive on here, really. I'm now exceptionally tired, though, I've got to say. I've just spent so what I did actually is I did my notes for this run this morning before I had to go out, and then I spent the day at SunnyCon, which is probably probably the biggest convention that happens in the northeast. I'm just doing one day there this year because I've seen everything I wanted to see. You know, saw all the friends I wanted to see. If I go back again tomorrow, I'll just overdo it and feel naff about it all. But yeah, that's just been a nice day out with one of my friends who's really good, and you know, she's just nice to hang out with. So we just were princesses for the day, which, let's be honest, you know, what better is there to do? So that's the warning for a Morpeth board. That Morpeth board is actually on the junction, which is our turn off for Morecambe. However, we're not going that way yet. We've got to go to Lancaster first and then reverse. So we can just stay at line speed now, which is 75. Again, I'm just turning the backlighting off because it makes it impossible to see the speedometer. So I've got a bit of an idea where I want to be. About halfway between here and the 80 post is where I want to be maxing out at. You can see, obviously, that is the Irish Sea on the right. That's the wet stuff. That is the sea. And yeah, you know, just shows how you know, how I'm not even sure what the phrase I'm looking for here, but just how I want to say insubstantial, but that doesn't feel like the right phrase. How you know, how little there is in certain areas. Oh, sorry, I just gave myself a shiver there. You know, between the railway and the water. Hello 156, give the driver a wave. So train drivers do generally wave to each other, actually, and it's just basically, it's not a you know, it's not like it's less of a, well, it's a greeting, but it's also a hey, the line ahead is clear. If I was to flash my headlights, then pardon me, that would be there's a hazard ahead. So we've got a double amber aspect, pardon me. So I'm going to take the power off. And if we see a single amber at the next signal, I'll slow down there in step 2 brake. But we want to slow down to about 25 for the crossover anyway. So I'm just going to 75 warning. Guess what? We're at less than that. I'm just going to put a dab of brake on just because I'm paranoid. But no, we're absolutely fine. We're below 70 now. And I'm just going to coast it, and I'm just going to keep an eye out ahead and see if I can sight a single amber signal. If I can, then I know I need to slow down for the crossover. Yes. So there's step 2 of the brake, and I'm just going to put that in and get us nice and slowed down. Now we want to sort of creep past that about 20, well, we want to slow down towards 25 passing this. Because even if the next signal clears in time, we're crossing over to the right, which is a 25, well, it's a 20 and then a 15 actually. But 25 is just a good pace to approach at, because we know that, well, put it that way, we know the next signal's at danger. So that's why there's no point us slamming on the brakes. So, not slamming on the brakes, piling into it to just slam the brakes on and, you know, make it less comfortable for the driverinos. The driverinos, the passengerinos, and less efficient in terms of the use of the train as well. Because if we pile in, you know, if we approach at this speed, the most energy is used to move the train from a stand to like half a mile an hour. So yeah, there's a red. So I'm just going to slow down even further. Just step on it down to about 10, maybe even, yeah, and then we'll just take it nice and slow on the approach. And then yeah, we're not that far from Lancaster now. This is, I mean, for those of you who've seen me do my West Coast Main Line over Sharp Route Learner, where we go fast, and an APT, there's the you go over a bridge here, and then you're in Lancaster. 10. So we are really just rolling up to it at a very slow pace, because it's a red. Yeah, my friend who was at the con with me has just got home now. It's like, but basically what we did is we went to the con, we then milled about in a park for a bit, took some photos. Came up to mine, got changed, and then I walked with them towards their bus, and then they got the subway and I went home. And my legs are just jelly. It's like, I feel like I've walked about 7 or 8 miles, which I've probably done about probably about 3 or 4. maybe 5. But I've also been wearing a really heavy dress all day. I was wearing my new Merida dress, and it was really hot and uncomfortable, but you know what? I really enjoyed it. So there's always that. It's got the red aspect, just to check it down. Literally approaching it like 3 miles an hour. This is how you do a red signal. You approach nice and slowly. Normally I manage to sort of path these so they don't have a red, but this one comes with a red as standard, and I think it's actually quite a nice little touch to the game. Here comes a Pendolino, and my signal is now set to single amber, and that signals me into platform 2, which tells me it's a 20 and then a 15. So I'll go up to about 25 and then coast, because it's a little while until the speed, and then we'll get slowed down as appropriate. So yeah, that was the wrong thing to scroll. I'm going to do that like that. Basically, I always like to get sort of this perspective, because it's the there's 2 sort of trains of thought, I guess. I'm going to slow down for that 20 before I say anything else. You see what I did there? Trains of thought. So 25. It's fine. I mean, it's a freaking pacer. You can't go over points too slowly. There's the flange sound. That's stereotypical pacer behaviour. Pacers are very much... so although it's technically a 40, we've got a 15 just ahead there, so I'll just approach nice and slow. But pacers are basically... What these are the top half of the train is a bus. The bottom half of the train is a high-speed goods wagon. It's a genius idea, but it was a stopgap that lasted 30 odd years. Like, yeah. So what we're going to do is going to bring the train to a stand. We then change ends and we head off toward Morecambe. So we're about halfway there now, but we do half the run in each cab basically, which is, I guess, could be considered quite nice. There we go. So at 15, I'm going to check myself down to about 10, and then yeah, just approach nice and slow, a little below 10 even, because we are pulling into a terminus station. You don't want to go piling in here, just in case something goes wrong. It shouldn't, but it might. There we go. Welcome to Lancaster. So you can see, I find that quite interesting actually, that the overhead line is ended against a bridge there. That is not something I've seen before. Normally they try and keep the overhead line gear as far away from any sort of humans as they can. So I'm just checking down here. There we go. We'll release the doors. Reverse will go to neutral. Headlights, I'm going to turn my tail lights on. There we go. Looking at the front of the train now. Yeah, got my reds. Going to Morecambe. What I'll do is I'll change ends to the front now. I'll leave the instrument lights on because it makes no difference. Reverse it to forward, which is weird. Instrument lights on. And headlights to... There we go. Nope, quite. That's night headlights, so I want... There we go. There we go, that's day headlights, that's what we want for the run up north. So I'm going to do a jump cut, and I'll see you guys as we are ready to depart. And just like that, we are back. So, like I say, I really enjoy this run actually. It's, yeah, one of those ones that you don't really think of as a fun run, but it is actually pretty good. So yeah, like I said, the 144s, units from 2 driving motors, one of which contains a toilet. Now there are 3 car units which have an additional intermediate motor vehicle. Yep, thanks Tom. So we've got a green aspect, so we've got the right of way. Oh. There we go. jiggle beep boop as we get away. So a quick cab tour, I guess, since we're here now. Not much to talk about in this train. I get up to our coast speed, which are 15. We're connected to accelerate as soon as we clear these points. But so down here you've got your basically your cab light controls and stuff, which is fine. Your interlocks, your wiper controls. Westcote 3-step brake, step 1, 2, full service and emergency. Obviously you'd only go as far as full service in normal use. You got your PA intercom headset there, so that's for making PAs, that's for IC calls. So basically if I wanted to call the driver and my guard in the back cab. Over here you've got your GSMR, which is this system here. This is a CSR radio and that's the handset for it. Got TPWS, which is to do with brake faults and braking and stuff. You got your AWS Sunflower, which is to do with telling you what you're doing with your life in terms of signals. Headlight controls, master key, not simulated. Reverser, forward, neutral, reverse. Hella advanced in this train. Fire system testing equipment, Sanders. Sanders, get it? My surname. There we go. Okay, full power now because we can go up to 75. To the left of that, you've got your the speedometer, brake indicator. This is your brake cylinder. This is your main reservoir. Engine start stop, gearbox fault issues, DRA. That's about it. Oh, you've got your AWS horn, throttle, and that's it. That is the train in a nutshell. So, according to BR, BR placed so basically there were 3 models of Pacer. Class 142, 143, and 144. 142 and 143 were the most numerous classes, with 144s being pretty rare. So, let's have a check here. Okay. So we've already got the cautionary signal letting us know that you're going to be turning off, which we're aware of. And what we know to do is to slow down to 25 for the divergent signal, like the diverging signal. The good thing about this route is it's not massive amounts of trees on it. So what you can do is spot you can spot your signals a long way off, so you can use them as braking points, which is actually really convenient. So there is always that. Right, there's a 350, a Transpantomime. I've got an issue with my 350s at the moment. I don't know if you noticed it there. I certainly did. And yeah, we've got there's our signal, which is our diverging signal. Power off. And step 2 brake to bring us down to 25. 2 and 5, 25. You can see this, to be honest, I say pass it at 25. You can see when we don't need to be at 25 for a while after the signal. So just put us in a step 1 brake and we'll check down. There we go. So we'll step 2, 25, 25. There you have it. So we'll just arc over at the right, the left even. That's milepost 0 for the Morecambe line, I guess. There's a lot of birds. Yeah, that's really aggressive bird noise there. The flange noise, which is the noise you hear there, is basically the wheel. It obviously doesn't bend as it goes round, the track does. So it's at an angle, so it's rubbing, so it makes extra noise. But the Pacers were legendary for this. Because they don't have bogies, their wheels do not turn at all. Incredibly loud in terms of flange noise as a result. As you can see, they just have axles. There's no flex to that at all. You know, it's literally just a bogieless freight wagon, effectively. So that is the single amber, which we are aware of. Again, this only really affects us. I think that's the last signal. Well, no, there's one more signal before we get to thingy. But we can see we've signalled across the point work here, which is amazing. This is Bear Lane Station we're approaching now. Now, there's a 55 as soon as we depart Bear Lane. You can see we passed the 55 boards there. Plot twist, we're not getting up to 55 today. And I'm just going to stop near the end because that's the entrance to the station there. There we go. Step 2 brake on. I do, yeah, I do like, one of the things I like here, oh, hustle alarm. Y'all better hustle, there go the doors. There we go, away to the races. So yeah, like the weathering on the roof, I really like. If we had this sort of texturing, I'm going to go a quick beep as we go over the points, the gravel crossing. Yeah, the texturing. If it was this, the texturing on the default paces was this good. Sorry, the AP paces. I think there'd be no cause for updating them. But yeah, like this is what's achievable. I've got to say, I absolutely love the work Major Wales does. Full power, full power. Let's thrash it away. Yeah, but no, I am working on some concepts. So yeah, hopefully, like I say, I'm working on new content, and I'm probably going to do the JSAs next actually, but that's in South Wales. So yeah, I've not done anything down there for a while. Yeah, I've driven it tons in my spare time. I'm just trying to, keep variety in the videos I do, and I know West Coast Mainline usually goes down pretty decently, and I mean the pace is ubiquitously popular. So what we'll do is slow. Well, first of all, that's 55. Okay, we might actually get up to 55. I'm going to let it get to 55 and then stand on the brakes pretty much. Okay, we'll call that 55 between friends. I wonder if that's how they determine the speed limit. Someone's taught to thrash it in a pacer and see how fast they could get. So there's a 30 on this curve, which doesn't appear to be signposted in the game. So yeah, lol. And then a 15 afterwards. But we'll just approach nice and slow. And the 15 is just before this bridge. So I'm just going to get to 15 in step 2. Yep, thank you. So the scenarios are there and back. I'm only doing it there today because the content won't be any different doing the journey in reverse. There we go, and we're just coasting under the bridges. Yeah, I've only just noticed that bit of weirdness there. Never noticed that on the pacer before. Of course, it makes perfect sense, but I've just never noticed it. So you can see this is our platform here at Morecambe. So Morecambe, not a particularly big station, did at one point in time have Virgin Cross Country. Well, Virgin Class 47s come down and take a local haul train out of here, which I might do as a scenario just for shits and gigs. I'm going to creep up to these buffers here, and then I'll put the train to bring the train to a stand. There we go. So there we go. We've got the doors open. We're not going to shut the cab down because, well, you've seen me do that once already. But just for interest, this is platform 1. That's 2. You've then got a runaround siding here for local haul services that used to come down, and this is the line to Heysham nuclear power station and port. So there's a nuclear power station down here which isn't too far, but I'm not sure how close we can get before I run out of real estate. You can see it's just down that way. Is Hisham Nuclear Power Station. What we can do is we'll shut the cab down. We'll make that the end of our video. Tail lamps on. There we go. And we'll scroll it down for Leeds. There we go. Well, we'll drive this train back now, but I'm not going to record that. So thank you all so very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a semi-regular basis. Until next time, guys, it's bye for now.